Welcome to Solutions Matter Summer Webinar Series. I'm going to introduce you all to Grace Wallace. She is the Executive Administrative Assistant for Solutions Matter and Nonprofit Solutions. She's an amazing addition to our team. When you hear executive assistant, you know that person is running the show. Everything behind the scenes, project management, keeping everything afloat and in order. So Grace, welcome today. Thank you so much for agreeing to serve as the co-host for this gathering. And I am going to be in the background just listening because I can't wait to hear this amazing information.
Perfect. Well, we are so excited. As Sharon said, my name is Grace Wallace, and thank you for bearing with us, still trying to make sure that everybody has access to these webinars because we are so passionate about giving resources and providing practical teaching and resources to those in the nonprofit sector. And we are just so excited to have you here today. We're going to be doing data-driven fundraising and how to multiply your fundraising results using research and data. So welcome. And I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk about who we are and our team. So just a little bit about who we are here. We don't have everybody from our team on this slide, but we were lucky enough. We got Sharon here today as well as Rooney, which is incredible. And so we're just so excited. So Candace is a founder and CEO of her own consulting company, but she's also a consultant with Solutions Matter. I am the executive administrative assistant, and we have Sharon Jones, our CEO, founder, Wonder Woman. So we're just so excited. And we also have Rooney, who is here today as well, and he is the vice president of our client services. And he is also like a Superman. So we're very excited. And I will just have Candace share a little bit about who she is. I think it's best to hear from her because she's here. So let's hear just a little bit about who she is.
Thank you so much, Grace, for the introduction. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Candace Lopez. I'm a nonprofit professional. I've been in the industry for about 20 years, with 16 of those in in fundraising and development. I specialize more with programs that are small or growing or in transition that really need some help just coming in and doing some program development. I currently live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and so this is where I'm tuning in from. Sharon and I are colleagues, and I just was really excited that she called me up and asked if I wanted to help with some of her webinars. So just really, really happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we are just so excited. So just a little bit about who we are as a company. So since inception, we've helped over 100 nonprofits, which is incredible. I love the fact that we are the people that get to empower and advance their missions, and the people that are already investing and pouring into communities and worldwide. We're the people that get to help them and propel them forward. And so whether that be with 501c3 incorporation filing, donor identification, bookkeeping, strategic planning, we truly do it all when it comes to anything nonprofit. And wherever you're at, we would love to help. And that's who we are as a company. So and then our next slide is just talking a little bit about our founder. I say that Sharon is this perfect blend of both professional and personal, because she not only can propel your professional mission and help you with where you're at, she's also going to cheer for you. She's also going to just be so considerate and caring in what does it look like to help your nonprofit succeed and truly create change in this world. And so she has experience with larger and nonprofits that have lots of history, and then also startup nonprofits. And so she has 30 plus years in raising over $500 million in many different sectors. So Sharon is incredible, and we are so lucky to get to be a part of this company. So that's just a little bit about Sharon. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Candace, and yeah, just welcome to Data-Driven Fundraising and how to multiply your fundraising results using research and data.
All right. Thank you so much again, Grace. Welcome to Data-Driven Fundraising, multiplying your fundraising results using research and data. If you are not in the right place, maybe go find it, but that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's take a look at our agenda for today. We're going to look at the role of research in the resource development cultivation cycle. So, many of us know about the kind of the traditional development cycle of identification, cultivation, and stewardship, and solicitation. And so we're going to look at how the role of research really just plays an important role in every single one of those places on the donor cycle. We're going to do an overview of the research products and let you know what we as Solutions Matter can help with. We'll talk about some research requests and what happens when you have a research request with Solutions Matter. We'll talk about a navigating tool for a prospect research, and then we'll also give you a cheat sheet with some research links that you can look at on your own. Because sometimes, you might not be ready for a full-scale data-driven component to your program. And if you just need somewhere to start, the research link is a good place to go. All right. What is the role of research in fundraising? Something that I have said often and heard often is that fundraising is an art and a science. And the art piece is, a lot of fun. It is the personality piece. It's the, getting to, connect with your donors. The science piece is different. And it is critical that we have this piece if we want to have a successful fundraising program. So prospect research, can provide a foundation for fundraising efforts, for a lot of your efforts, but particularly identifying new prospects, new information on your existing prospects. What about your lapsed people? How do we elevate those folks? And what do we do about our lapsed donors? Identifying, wealth indicators, alignment, capacity, and connectivity, and also supporting cultivation and solicitation strategies. So the role of research really plays a critical component in all of these different areas, and we'll get into that a little bit more in more detail. All right. Unlock your donor potential with data-driven insights. So are you tired of fundraising guesswork? This is challenging. I think in fundraising, sometimes, I had a former mentor, he said, you can cultivate over here, and then a big tree grows up on this side. So sometimes there are some things that are out of our control. But the more consistency and the more systems we put into place, the more success your program is going to have. And I can't stress the word consistency enough. And this is just one of the many pieces. You can have a great board, a great CEO, a great development officer. There's a lot of different components that can really help with your fundraising. And this is one piece of it. So maybe take a minute and maybe ask yourself, are you hitting your fundraising? Are your fundraising efforts hitting the mark? And sometimes that's measurable by your actual donors rate or dollars raised, and sometimes that's number of donors, or sometimes it's just your donors feel connected to your organization, right? So are you fundraising efforts hitting the mark? Are you maximizing your fundraising potential? How many people have heard that a certain person or an organization would leave money on the table? I always hear about people leaving money on the table. Right. So we don't want to do that. We want to maximize our fundraising potential and not leave any money on the table. And as a nonprofit leader who knows the power of donor relationships, here we go. Are you leaving money on the table due to outdated strategies and missed opportunities? So we want to make sure that you're really maximizing the resources that you have. And also we want to make sure we're not missing any prospective donors. Next slide, please. Thank you. So let's just take a moment to do a little bit of imaginary work here. Let's just imagine that you build your entire fundraising campaign and success on a plan backed by data and not guesswork. So what if you had the information that you needed, not just about your current donors and their capacity, but what about folks in the area? What about folks in a specific region? How would that help your fundraising efforts? So let's just think about building your entire fundraising campaign that way, and not how do I say this gently? Sometimes ideas get thrown around everywhere, but by having this, a data-backed plan, you can go to your board, you can go to CEO, you can go to your VP of development or whoever it is and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we want to do. And here's the research to back it up. How great would that be? Imagine confidently approaching major donors by personalized appeals backed by research. So, has anybody gone into a donor meeting before where you just felt like, I just don't have enough information about this person? I'm just not, I did my best, but we barely know this donor, but they seem to really know us. Let's take the guesswork out of that, right? How about identifying overlooked prospects who are passionate about your cause and have the means to give generously? We see this a lot, where you'll have a prospect who really loves your organization, but is maybe giving $100 a year, and really maybe they could be giving 100,000. So let's find out those people, those hidden gems. I call that the Nissan Sentra guy, because there's always somebody driving a Nissan Sentra, an old beat up Nissan Sentra, that actually, and then they have millions of dollars in the bank, right? We don't want to leave those people alone. And then imagine building a stronger, more engaged donor base that feels valued and invested in your organization. This one is probably the most important bullet point, because we want your folks to feel connected and to have that relationship with your program, so that they'll be more inclined and motivated to give. And these are just, this is what can happen when you get into our market research and wealth screening products and service. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm, talking a big talk. How does this work? So first, we do an in-depth donor analysis before we get into the wealth screening. So the donor analysis we'd analyze your current donor base, giving history, demographics, zip codes, and this would help us identify trends, preferences, potential areas for growth. And so this would involve, really looking at the current donor base that you have and being able to use research and some software to really understand a lot more about them. We also will delve deeper into these donors. So that's the wealth screening. And just so I have to remind people, we're not digging through trash cans looking for people's information. This is all public information. So we get deeper into your prospects. We conduct our thorough wealth screening and to uncover your hidden gems within your community. Individuals with a passion and the financial capacity to make a significant impact. So that's really what we're looking for, right? Are people who have the capacity to give and the want to give. When I've worked with financial advisors, they have people who have more money than they know what to do with, and they don't know, what a nice problem to have. And so we want to make sure we have the people that not only have the funds, but also have the motivation to give, right? We do some target audience research. So we'll explore the demographics and interests of your ideal fundraising targets and help you tailor your message and outreach for maximum resonance. If you can tell, this is definitely a wraparound service. So it's not just a wealth screening and here you go, have fun with it. There's a lot of work to be done. What do we do with this now? There's a lot of work to be done with that. Which brings us to our customized action plan. So based on the research, present your board with a clear step-by-step action plan and outline who to approach, how much to ask for, who should be doing the ask, when that should be, when to make the move. So really a data-driven, moves management, major gifts program. This is really a great tool to help your efforts that are already in place. It's also a great tool for folks who just don't know where to start. If you're like, we have these great donors, I'm new here, and I really want to, maximize our efforts here. So this is really a great product for people for programs that are very developed, and also for programs that are in the beginning stages. So what you gain, how about some data-backed confidence? That's really exciting to have. You can make your decisions based on concrete evidence and not just guesswork. And this is something I just said, but I do like to say it again. It's also a really good tool to use to present to your board, or if you have an advisory board or a development committee. This is really the kind of thing that's great to say, hey, I know, we're doing this work and the money's going to come, that we have faith that we're doing everything that we're supposed to do. And here is the research to back it up. You will also gain some personalized strategies. No human being is a one size fits all. And it's the same with donors. You want to target the right donors with the right message at the right time. And so we'll help you with those personalized strategies. Increase donations. So this is the goal, right? We'll unlock these hidden potentials, these hidden gems, cultivate those new relationships, and kind of develop those relationships in a way that they'll go from an annual giver to a major donor, or a grassroots donor to an annual giver, right? So we want to really find those folks that have more potential and figure out a good strategy to get them to increase their giving. And you would also gain a sustainable fundraising system, build a foundation for a long-term financial success. This is the kind of thing that when you get this information back, it's great to have to upload into your CRM, or just have, knowledge is power. So the more information you have about your folks, the better you're going to be able to do your work. And just a reminder, don't leave your mission's financial health to chance. Invest in data-driven insights and just watch your impact change and grow. So let's go ahead and dive in. So what are wealth indicators? Wealth indicators, they can provide an insight into interests, hobbies, and investments. I always think these are very interesting because, it's a lot about lifestyle. And I think you can tell how well a person's doing by their lifestyle, right? So that could be, one of the indicators, let's say, is a wine club, art, auto, and wine clubs. These are extracurriculars that we're just sunbathing out in the sun. These are extracurriculars that need some money, right? And so we know these people have some disposable income at their fingertips. Golf, yacht, auto club memberships. These are the different components that our software uses as well. Hunting, fishing licenses, international travel, big vacations, destination parties, weddings. It's easy to find I shouldn't say very easy, but you can find homes that people own, whether they're here or multiple homes, any renovations, insider stocks, private company ownership or private family foundations, or owning an LLC or a family office. So these are the different indicators that our software uses to find, to get an idea of who this person is and what their lifestyle is. And so, it's really just a great way to get an idea of who the donor is that you're thinking about. All right, overview of the research product. So this is what I was discussing earlier when we were looking at the donor cycle, the identification, qualification, stewardship, solicitation and stewardship. And so, with our identification and how your research can help you in each one of those areas. So we know that identification is identifying, prospective donors, and that can look like a lot of different things, depending on your organization. So through the identification piece, we're looking at the Wealth Engine report, Giving USA report, the gift capacity summary, which is what we do through iWave, which is a software that we use for the wealth screening, a relationship science match, which I think is really cool, and we'll get into that in a minute. D&B Hoover's report, contact information, research summary, special projects, and then bulk wealth screening. So these are the ways that these are the tools that we have to be able to help you identify the prospects that you need. And then how do we qualify them? We'll qualify them through some of the same, through the Wealth Engine report, Giving USA, iWave, and the relationship mapping, the contact information, research summary, and bulk wealth screening. Say that 5 times fast. And so we use these products in that section as well. So these are the ways that this is the bread and butter. This is the beginning stages of that. Through cultivation. So that's where we are learning about these donors. We're getting them into our circle. We're trying to understand them more. The cultivating is really getting them to know who we are. And we do that through, again, a bulk wealth screening consultation, any special projects, a philanthropy brief, a thumbnail of just kind of a brief overview of these donors, and the DMB Hoover's report. And so with the solicitation piece, that's kind of the last pieces of the cycle. Some of the items we've seen before, but also a comprehensive gift ask analysis, and comprehensive overview and research update. So with each stage that you're looking to move your donor through the donor cycle, the research products are going to help you in each and every single one of those, by giving you the information that you need, and also the fact that the software uses so many different research tools. So instead of going through all those different ones by yourself, the software does it for you. And so we can really provide something that's comprehensive, well-researched, and kind of takes the guesswork out, takes the extra legwork out, so it's really a fantastic way to just add more muscle behind your efforts. There are definitely some free online tools, 411 political giving, so you can see where folks are giving. You can look up Zillow, the property values on Zillow, and whether or not which is interesting. I live in California, so, $1 million home doesn't go a long way here, but there are ways to kind of understand what real estate looks like so that you don't, get too excited about somebody who might have the capacity, but also recognize the people who probably do. You have Yahoo Finance and Reuters and Bloomberg, Forbes, Giving USA, Generosity for Life. These are all really great websites that you can look to see, who's spending the money, that has the money, and especially who's giving and who's philanthropic. Because we know that just because somebody has $1 million in the bank, that doesn't mean they're going to give it, right? They need to be inspired and motivated, and they also need to have a values alignment of wanting to give. And so if you're, this is just one of those things where we want to be able to share some free tools as well. If you can't, if having a whole wealth screening is something that you are just considering for now. Relationship mapping. So this is really interesting. So one of the other services is this relationship mapping. When a request for a map is made, our research team will provide 3 maps: a general, strongest connectivity, and individual relationship. So what is this mapping? It's looking at your folks and prospective folks and seeing where the overlap is. And so what's interesting and what's great about that is, I can think of several things, but the first is, I think we lost our screen, Sharon, there we go. We're looking, so think about your own friends. When you meet someone at a party or you're at an event and this person says, I went to the University of Texas at Austin. I'll just say that because, hello. And then somebody else says, oh, well, my friend over here also went to the University of Texas at Austin. And so it's kind of it's fun when you connect people. Think about that, but in this very highly scientific, data-driven backed way, and without the needing to introduce each other and ask a bunch of questions, right? This kind of answers the questions for you. And so we look at who is, what those connections are. And really, it would be great to figure out, have an additional program component that really speaks to your donors and the connections that they have. Work with donors to make introductions with other folks. There's different ways that we can use this information, but having it is going to be very powerful. And it's a really cool tool. I think we do. If we don't have any, I think we can skip over the questions slide. We can save the questions for the end. And then we do have a special offer for participants today. For if you participate in today's webinar, we do have a special offer that we're excited to share. So we've gone through all of the amazing capabilities that prospect research and data-backed research can have on your program. And prospect research, is going to provide that foundation for your development efforts. That's going to include identification of new prospects, which is really great because we always want to grow our program. New and reliable information on existing donors, which we want because we want to get to know our folks more than we already do. Elevation of your lapsed donors. Let's get these folks back in the door for whatever reason. They're no longer donating. Let's get them back in. Identifying wealth indicators, alignment, capacity, and connectivity. We talked about this relationship mapping. And it's going to support your cultivation, stewardship, and solicitation strategies and identification strategies as well. So it's going to support in every single piece of the donor cycle, which I don't know about you, but for me, that is something that I go back to all the time. If I'm feeling stuck in my work and I think, I'm a little lost in what I'm doing, I always go back to the donor cycle, and it really helps to ground me. And so the cost for this, it's a really full-scale service, and I would definitely encourage you to book a discovery call just to learn more about it. If because there's a lot more, I'm sure, than what we could get through today. It is a $25,000 cost with a discount of 15% for participating today. Now, this is really only for organizations that have at least 2,000 prospects that they can, or donors that they can, run through our software, because we really want to be able to give you something substantial to work with. And we really want to give you something very fruitful. And, you're investing in this. And so we want to make sure that you get, what you need with your investment. So this is, and when we do have some financing, if you need that. So this is a great package, a lot of great tools. And then there's a discount today, which who doesn't love a discount? Me. And so, yeah, that's it for me. I think that's for me right now. But I encourage folks to do a discovery call to learn more. It doesn't hurt to ask questions and just get a better idea of what that could look like to work with Solutions Matter. And hopefully this has inspired you.
Yeah. And we also, just to reiterate as well, even if you don't have that database of, 2,000, we have solutions for smaller databases. And so it may not look the same, but we do have solutions for you. And so just wanted to reiterate that as well, that still use certain tools to help you with data and as well. But today we have an exclusive offer for our workshop attendees. And so, these deliverables it's a market study. And this essentially is just used to pinpoint high potential prospects. There's identification of diverse funding streams, direct outreach and engagement with strategic partners and sponsors, and ongoing support and consultation to support and to maximize fundraising success. So the investment is $5,500. But this is an exclusive offer for you all. And we're just excited to get to be able to give that to you guys. And then I believe the next slide as well. Yeah, we also have some other offers that where things are on sale. We, like Candace said, who doesn't love a good deal? I know I do as well. And so we have organizational assessments, market and communications assessment, fundraising, review, and audit. And so for our workshop attendees, all of these are 75% off. And I know at the end of webinars, you're like, I don't want to hear more about potential being sold something, but truly book a free discovery call with us. We can work with you. We want to know about your organization. Like we said, we care about you and your mission. So, and yes, please book with us, book with Rooney. He's our Vice President of Client Services. And we would love to just get to talk with you and hear about your mission and hear how we can best serve you, because that's truly who we are. We want to find your solution to any issues that you're coming into as you're trying to advance your mission of your nonprofit. So yeah. And thank you again to Candace. I won't do a full clap just so that it doesn't hurt anybody's ears, but just thank you so much to her and for her time and insight into this topic. Yeah, and thank you to everybody else for being here, all of our guests, and feel free to contact us. And if you have any questions or if you want the free PDFs from today, please email us at this email, and also a recording of this presentation as well, because we want to give you these resources. You came today, it's one of the perks of being here, so please email us and reach out to us so we can give you just those PDFs and as well as this presentation. So thank you so much.